Well, hello, hey, hi, welcome back. I am going to kick it old school, I guess, today because I don't see anyone do this anymore. Recent favorites. I feel like recent favorite videos are kind of a good gauge for what someone uses regularly, and it's also why I don't think I've ever had a sponsored product in any of those because I feel like it taints it unless it is something that I have spoken about for like yonks on end, like a couple of products in this video, although again, not sponsored. As you guys, if you have been around here for quite some time, you would know that I used to have categories, little things that I would use throughout to gauge what my favorite product in those categories had been for the previous allotted time. So maybe every 2-3 months, I don't know. I know that a lot of you have been suffering through some heat waves overseas. We are doing the opposite. It is quite cold here, but I know comparatively the cold here is nothing compared to overseas, and yeah, it's whatever. I always sit here and I talk about weather. Let's just get straight into this. The first category, as always, is eyes, and my most sought after and used palette for the last few months has been the Smoulder palette from Cosmic Brushes. This is just such a good palette. Yes, it is essentially a neutrals palette, but this is such a cool toned neutral. It is just so versatile. I reach for this almost every time I put my makeup on, whether it be for just one transition shade. There was a point in time where I was using a couple of these shades for different contouring situations. Like Kindle is a really good contour blush combination, as well as Charisma is really good for a very cool tone, grey tone contour, rather. There are just some great shades in this. I think it's a very versatile palette, and the payoff of everything in this palette is just second to none. This palette is better than most, if not all, of the high-end palettes that I've used, especially like Natasha Denona is my splurge kind of company eyeshadow stuff. They are so expensive. $200 Australian for a palette is just absolutely nuts. I would pick this over that, to be honest. Do with that information what you will. Oh, and by the way, this was, I think, 40 Australian dollars. So I could buy like 6 of these for the same price as a Natasha Denona palette. In the category of lips, I have been on and off just searching for more companies that do colourful and different kind of lipsticks. But all in all, because of the intense dryness I've had postpartum to my lips and skin and all of that, I'm back to my favourite lip balm stuff. These are the Laneige lip balm things. These are just insane. So many different flavours. I also discovered a little hack during the holidays. The Christmas sets that come out with these little ones. That's a full-sized regular one. But you get 4 of these for the same price as one of these. So I got 2 of the Christmas packs, so I got heaps of these. This one, which is the berry one, I'm pretty sure, is my ultimate favourite. Love that one intensely. This one is my partner's favourite, and that's the candy cane one. Anyway, I love these. These are the best lip balms I've ever used in my whole entire life. They don't feel disgusting on my lips, and I wake up with better lips. I put these everywhere. I've got so many of these through every single one of my handbags. They are a little bit on the pricier side compared to some other lip balms. However, I swear by these. I have to run off and go grab this product because I forgot to bring it here. In the other category, my favorite product has been this from Jolie Beauty. This is the Skullpted Contour Cream, and I did a first impressions video. I don't know if that's going up before or after this of me using this, and I've used it every single day since. This is the exact contour that I think every alternative and goth person has been asking for like the last 20 years. There are only 4 shades when it comes to this particular product. However, those 4 shades are incredibly vast with the spectrum that they cover. Contours don't... There's so many orange and neutral based contours that you could just walk to any shop and go get them. With cool toned, I think a lot of us have been relying on eyeshadows that are pigmented to the right area, but to have a cream product that blends so seamlessly, and again, I'm gonna add this because in my first impressions video, I used it with one foundation. I've now used it with 4 different foundations, and it blends like a dream into every single one of them. And they're all pretty popular foundations, like the Beauty Blender foundation, the Too Faced foundation, House Labs, and Tia. I feel like that covers a very, very broad spectrum of what people are using these days. So this is an absolute winner in my books. So skincare. Now I have a very strict skincare routine by the way that I mean is I use the same products over and over again because if it works, why change it? This is one of my hero products of the last 6 years, and this is the Kit Face Serum, and this has vitamin A, C, and E in it. It's kind of like a multivitamin for your skin, but I swear by this. I use this every single evening. It would be a very, very cold day in hell for me to go without this. I've been using this, like I said, for nearly 6 years now. I've had countless bottles of this. I think every 2 months I buy another one of this. I think more people need to be talking about this. I don't think I did a perfume category many, many years ago, but over the last 6 years, I have become very into the olfactory pleasures. Like, don't get me wrong, I've always loved perfume, but I've gotten very into it with the notes and what works with my body chemistry and even my partner, like what works with his body chemistry. I can tell you that spiced scents are 100% his avenue, and I got him a couple new ones and oh my God, they just smell so divine on him. So the 2 that I've been wearing the most in the last few months has been Afaq, I think that's what it's called, Afaq by Lataffa. This is one of those Arabic perfumes. I love the Arabic perfumes. Lataffa is one of my favorite perfume companies. This is a Santal-based perfume. I adore Santal because it's just got that earthy, sexy kind of smell to it. Also pairs very well with like jasmine scents and rose scents and things like that. And I have a lot of floral scents. I have moved away from the sweeter scents in most ways, except for like the vanillas and marshmallows and things like that. But the Santal, this is just amazing. And I think this is like 45 Australian dollars. It is so cheap for how much projection you get from this, and the wearability and the longevity of this is insane. It's absolutely insane. This is such a beautiful, beautiful perfume. I'd recommend this to anyone who loves something a bit spicy and also loves Santal. The other perfume that I fucking love this perfume, but I cannot commit to the $700, nearly $800 it costs. It is Les Sable Rose by Louis Vuitton. So I have a whole fuck ton of these testers because I've bought things from Louis Vuitton a couple of times, and the salesperson I go to, he is a friend of mine. So he always throws in like 10 of these every single time. Only twice, I'm pretty sure. And one of those was to get a gift for someone else. I also request that when other family members go into Louis Vuitton, even just to have a look, can they please pick me up one of these? Because nearly $800 for a perfume is just absolutely bonkers to me. I would love to find a great dupe of this, but I have not found one as of yet. This is a very sexy grandma kind of scent. It is oud and rose, heavy, heavy on the rose. It is like stepping into an English tea garden with just roses smacking you in the face. And then it's got that distant scent of oud, and it's so spicy, so floral, so grandma. I love it. Maybe one day I will commit to the exorbitant price that this commands. It is one of my favorites. It truly is one of my favorite scents. I am obsessed with this. But if you have any idea of the smell and you know of any incredible dupes, can you please let me know, because I would really like that. Favorite clothing item. Now, recently Vinted came to Australia, so there is a big part of me that should say, oh, it's one of those things that I got off Vinted. especially because I replaced 2 dresses that I used to have a long time ago. And when I tell you a long time ago, you guys have seen these dresses, but after a couple of breakups, I had a particular ex decide to steal fucking everything I owned. But I then thought, what have I been wearing the most? And the answer to that particular question would be this. My Elden Ring hoodie. This is of Malekith, and Malekith is my favorite of all the main bosses in Elden Ring. Malekith has a great backstory. He wasn't necessarily an evil person. So I wear this hoodie all the time, and I've only been clocked once for the Elden Ring reference of it. Yeah, that's the front of it. Very simple on the front, but then it's got the huge Malekith print on the back. I'm completely Elden Ring obsessed. There's this collection from Arc 8 that I saw this. It's a $5,000 jacket, but it's got the whole Lands Between map on the inside of it and it's faux fur on the outside. So it's kind of like a hidden nod to Elden Ring. I'm just obsessed with Souls games, to be honest, but Elden Ring the most. So when it comes to shoes, I really had to think about this, and there have been a few pairs of shoes that I've been cycling heaps, and I've been mostly wearing Pilates socks lately, so I can't really go, hey, look at my dirty ass Pilates socks. Anyway, I then thought, what are the shoes that I have enjoyed the most? And it would be these. Even though, yes, it is colder weather, I made these and I am so proud of them. Like, they're cool. And I made a video of me making them, so if you want to see that, go watch that. Anyway, I'm proud. And you can probably hear my son downstairs. He's playing with Daddy and they play very rough and loudly. Now, movie or TV show, I have not really watched many TV shows or movies for the last many years, to be honest. But I really enjoyed Peaky Blinders, and then the subsequent movie that came out a couple months ago, which was The Immortal Man. My partner just loves Peaky Blinders, and I wholeheartedly believe that we should go back to a time of men wearing suits casually because it looks good. It looks put together. My partner has a Peaky Blinders suit. I got it for Christmas because he always wanted one, and it is just chef's kiss. Can't wait for him to actually have an event to wear it out to be honest. I thought Immortal Man was a really good way of tying up everything. I know that people were not exactly happy with some of the casting choices, but I personally didn't have a problem with any of that. I just thought it was a very well done movie, and it was a good way to tie up the whole Tommy Shelby life. I also wanted to recommend a show that I watched a while ago, and it's called Behind Her Eyes, and this was like a mini series, and it was like a total mindfuck. I thought it was really good, so I would highly recommend that too, if you haven't seen it. Now, music. My recent artists that I've been listening to a whole heap. Actually, I've been listening to a lot of Devin Townsend Project lately. Something reminded me of the song Secret Science, and I just then went right back down the Devin Townsend kind of avenue, and I've been really listening to Devin Townsend Project in particular, but also Batushka. I missed out on Batushka playing in Australia because I was pregnant at the time, so I did not attend a single concert while I was pregnant. And I also have been listening to a lot of Catatonia again, and always listening to Opeth. Always listening to Opeth, but Catatonia, I cannot wait to see in October. I've never seen Catatonia live, and they have been one of my favorite bands for a very, very long time. So yeah, that's that. Recent book. Now, I put this in here now to hold myself accountable to get back into reading. It has been hard to get back into reading because, I've got a baby and things like that, but I have expressed to my partner that, hey, I want 15 to 20 minutes every single day where I can just sit in silence with my music and read, because I really miss that. I have got 2 books coming about the Battle of Hastings because that has struck a massive interest in me. I'm always interested in Tudor period, so if you have any recommendations for Tudor or Dark Ages or Middle Ages, medieval periods through any culture, I'm all over that. I'm always up for recommendations. Now, again, another new category. Recent game. Now, there are 2 particular games that I'm going to mention here. The first one being Borderlands, the new one, the one that came out last year, because that was the game that I was playing in labour. And my thoughts on the Borderlands games, particularly this last one, it was good. There was a lot of running around to do. There were a lot of side missions and things like that. There was a good slower pace to the story progression if you did a lot of the side missions. Now, there was also obviously a lot of farming to do to get the better weapons and better augments, I guess. I can't remember what they're called. There were so many instances where my partner and I farmed a particular boss or boss arena for, like at least 20 goes. And it was pretty good. It was very enjoyable to play it with someone. I played as the character Vex through that playthrough, and he played as Amon, the big guy. I really enjoyed the character Vex because it was just another element with the summoning of trouble. How cool. Anyway, the summoning of trouble was a really cool side element to it, and then boosting trouble was really cool. It was really cool. Also, another game that I'm not really seeing people talk about is Deadzone Rogue. We have played the whole entire game through from start to finish, and we're just going through and completing everything on expert level. It is a roguelike game, and it is, again, it's another one of those ones where you're just trying to get the absolute best equipment for your build or your particular elemental, or just trying to create the most damage in the smallest time possible. It is a really good game, especially if you are playing with other people. I'm pretty sure you can have up to 4 people in your party for this one. I do think that it is still fun by yourself, but I do prefer to play most games with my partner, except for Elden Ring, because I flog his ass in that. If you are an Elden Ring player, where are you up to? I'm on New Game +8, and I'm just about to finish Consort Radahn. I just did a round before with Consort Radahn, and I'm trying a whole new colossal weapon build, and I'm normally a dexterity, but I changed for a colossal weapon because I think that it's just a whole new way of doing Radahn, and most people that I've seen who have fought Radahn have been summoning in other players via furled fingers, and I'm not doing that. I did it the first time. I'm not going to do it this time. So hopefully this evening, after my beautiful baby boy goes down to sleep, I beat Radahn again. I have flogged him so many times now. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. It's a little bit of a chatty, lighthearted video, and that's kind of like what I like to do. I do like to do a bit more of the serious stuff. Life is too serious. We need a little break from just shit and drama around us. I know that drama sells. I know that. But I don't fucking want it. So yeah, that is it. Thank you for sitting here with me, and I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all of that stuff. Also, you can hype this video. Yeah, I don't even understand any of that, but yeah, you can do that. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful, fantabulous day. Bye.